Really too hot over here, who I just scared with the hammer.
Next time we'll make sure our hand tuck in before you ham it.
Welcome to the May 9th Garden Grove City Council meeting. Thanks for being here. We will start out with me pulling up my agenda. Would you like to do roll call?
Sure. Councilmember Beard?
Here.
Councilmember O'Neill?
Here.
Councilmember T-Win? Here. Councilmember Bowie?
Yeah.
Councilmember Klopfenstein?
Here.
Councilmember Kay Wen?
Here.
And Mayor Jones.
Here. We'll now have the invocation from Kingsley Okereke, and then I'd like to ask Councilmember John O'Neill to lead us in the pledge afterward. Sure.
Okay. Heavenly Father, we ask for your presence this evening as we begin the work entrusted to us by the citizens of this city. We thank you especially today for the great work that you have done in the lives of our very own Garden Grove graduates. We ask that you bestow your blessings on our deliberations, that we may have the benefit of your wisdom and integrity in making decisions that affect the lives of those who live and work here in our Garden Grove community. Amen.
Thank you. If you would all remove your caps, place your hand over your heart, and join me in pledging our great flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, we will start out with presentations. We have a community spotlight in recognition of our 2017 college graduates.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, this Garden Grove City Council is very pleased to recognize, I think, 35 Garden Grove College graduates, class of 2017, for their achievements in higher education. Earlier this evening, the Mayor and City Council had the opportunity to personally meet and congratulate each graduate during a private reception across the hall. The college graduates you see before you are all local residents. Most of them were born and raised in Garden Grove. And I believe some of the graduates have left already, but we do have some here. And I will call the names. If I call your name, please step forward. The city of Garden Grove is very proud of these fine young men and women representing the best of our community. I'd like to take this moment, as I said earlier, to call each graduate forward to introduce them. Please, if you can, hold the applause until all the graduates have been named and they are standing up front. Amelia Sanchez Barajas. Amelia is graduating from Cal State Los Angeles with a degree in social work. And I have Josua Barrero. Josua is graduating from Cal State Fullerton with a degree in communications. Next, Edward Bosser. Did I say it right? You did good. Thank you. Edward is receiving a degree in human resources management from Western Governors University. Alma Castro. Alma is receiving a degree in human services from Cal State Fullerton. Joanne Belaskowitz. Joanne is receiving a degree in administration and office support from Coastline Community College. Giovanni Diaz. I think Giovanni is not here, but Giovanni is attending Chapman University and will be graduating with a degree in history and film studies. Next, I have Tammy Ding. Tammy, I think, left already. Tammy is receiving a degree in human resources management from Cal State Fullerton. And then I have Jessica Enciso. Jessica is not here? Well, Jessica is also graduating from Concord Career College with a degree in dental hygiene. Alexander Foy. Alexander is graduating from Cal State Fullerton and will receive a degree in history and American studies. Next, I have Sandra Godinez. Sandra is graduating from Chapman University with a degree in kinesiology. Ling Dan Lee. Ling is graduating from Cal State Fullerton with a degree in public administration. Next, I have Billy Lee. Billy is receiving a master's degree in public administration from Cal State Fullerton. Oh, excuse me, Cal State Long Beach. How can I get that wrong? All right. Vanessa Lopez. Is Vanessa here? Yeah, well, Vanessa is graduating from Cal State Long Beach with a degree in social work. Next, I have Yesenia Munetin. Yesenia is graduating from Santa Ana College with a degree in liberal arts. I have Crystal Nunez. Is Crystal here? Yeah, okay. Crystal is attending Cal Poly Pomona and will receive a degree in aerospace engineering. Next, I have Anne Pham. Anne is not here. Anne is receiving a master's degree in biotechnology from UC Irvine. Jenny Fong. Jenny is receiving a master's degree in information technology from Cal State Fullerton. Next, I have Janet Rodriguez. Janet is attending Cal State Fullerton and will receive a degree in child and adolescent development. Vanessa Rojas. Vanessa is attending Cal State Fullerton and will receive a degree in criminal justice. Next, I have Erica Solis. Erica is attending UC Irvine and will receive a degree in public health. Next, I have Skylar Viles. Skylar will receive a master's degree in social work from University of California, Southern California, USC. Alma Vegas. I think she's not here either. Alma is attending Cal State Fullerton and will receive a degree in child and adolescent development. Dylan Waterhouse. Dylan is receiving a degree in physical therapy from American Career College. And those are the names of folks I'm expecting to be here. There are some people who did not attend tonight, and I'd like to read their names. The first one is Yvette Ariola, Gloria Bartolo, Alejandro Figueroa, Ashley Juarez, Desiree Lopez, Linda Moncada, Trang Nguyen, Joycelyn Orellana, Juliana Rojas, Pia Grace Torres, Christian Villagomez, and Christiana Zambrano. An exciting future lies ahead for all of these Garden Grove graduates and professionals. The city wishes all of you success in your career and future endeavors. Congratulations and good luck to all of you.
Can we get all the grads to just kind of come up right in this little part right here so we can take some pictures? Maybe they'll go there and we'll just stay in our spots up here. We usually have like somebody there taking pictures every time. Hey. All right, congrats once again, everybody. Congrats, Okay, we will now move on to oral communications. I've got a number of cards tonight. So we will start with Billy Lee.
Good evening, Ms. Mayor and honorable council members, city managers, and all the directors who are present today. My name is Billy Lee, and I am the community outreach advisor for the Orange County Clerk Recorder, Mr. Hugh Nguyen. Today, I'd just like to congratulate the graduates who are still here, some of them, on the success, and thank you to the city for allowing them the opportunities to be recognized. I just want to be here to share some of the work that the Orange County Clerk Recorder does, some of the services that we have, for example, passport services. So any of the graduates who are listening, if you need to travel, we are here for you, as well as any resident of Garden Grove. We open on Saturday as well on May 20th, coming this month, as well as a passport day on June 3rd at the Laguna Hills offices. So if you would like to know more information, please visit our website at ocrecorder.com. The clerk recorder, Mr. Hugh Nguyen, sends his regards and congratulates the students, as well as thanking the cities for all the work that they've done. We just want to let you know that we're here to provide the services. We do passports, any vital records. So if you ever need help with anything, please come on by. We have all of the satellite offices in Westminster, Fullerton, Laguna Hills, and Santa Ana. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill. Beatrice Jones. There she is.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. I am Beatrice Jones, resident of Garden Grove, and I want to bring you greetings from my heart and from all the rest of Garden Grove, and to you and to all your constituents. And this message is in compliance with a date that should be on your city calendar. And again, as I said, in the hearts of my people throughout the nation, and it's exemplified by a 14-year-old state holiday. That is in the government code, SB 812, section 6718, that reads, "The governor shall proclaim the third Saturday in June of each year to be known as Juneteenth. National Freedom Day, a day of observance, and it urges all Californians to celebrate this day in honor and reflect on the significant roles that African Americans have played throughout history. In the United States, African Americans have enriched society steadfastly, and their commitment will always be remembered in terms of promoting freedom, brotherhood, and equality. Our Learning Black History class, I teach in Huntington Beach, operating in its third year, invites all of you to come celebrate on Saturday, the 17th of June, from 10 to 4 in Central Park in Huntington Beach. And I want you to eat. I want you to learn the true history and meaning of Juneteenth, learn a little bit about our culture, take a look at the books, and we will definitely have flags for you to become more familiar with, and commemorate the day that blacks who were enslaved in Texas learned that They were citizens of the United States of America. It's a very important holiday. And there are now, more than 35 states that have recognized Juneteenth as hopefully as our objective, a national holiday. Thank you. I hope to see you out.
Thanks, Beatrice. John Holm.
Well, honorable members of the City Council, honorable staff, and the students back here, my name is John Holmes, 37-year resident of Garden Grove. I own a small software engineering company, and I'll give you a quick plug on it. If you reach back and touch your shirt, you're going to find that there's no longer a label back there, but it's embossed. My company wrote the software for those robots. So there is a future. I'm here to talk about item 3D, and that's the parking lot study. You're about to embark on the study, and I want to point out two things. Number one, the City Council is a policy-making organization. They tell the city staff what to do, and the city staff embark on the solution to those problems. And number two, I want to mention low frequency, high intensity. Low frequency and high intensity relate to the parking lots. Now, if you go out Sunday morning at 6 o'clock, you're not going to find anybody on Main Street. But if you go out during open streets, or during the Strawberry Festival, or during the Elvis Festival, you're going to find that it's impacted. So I'm asking that the City Council direct the city to say, let's take care of those low-intensity, the low-frequency, high-intensity issues. If you're going to do a study, do it on the Strawberry Festival, do it on the Elvis Festival, and do it on the open streets. And that's it. Thank you.
Jane Rapp.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here to speak about animal control. January 1st, we signed a contract with Orange County Humane Society. I would like to know why they do not abide by Hayden's Law. They don't let rescues in. They euthanize feral cats. We lost all of the programs that we had with Orange County Shelter. I know that there are no perfect shelters, but the shelter that we are using now does nothing but slam dunk, take the animal, put it in the back for 5 days, and kill it. I've got public records requests proving it. I've got pets that were turned in, cats that were somebody's pet for 5 years were turned in and euthanized, and they were claiming they were feral. They weren't feral, they were somebody's pets. I have Hayden's Law here, and it's a law, it's a state law, and they are not following it. Orange County Shelter was sued for not following Hayden's Law. How long is it going to be before Garden Grove gets sued for not abiding by this? Yesterday, a little dog was rescued from there. Luckily, it was originally taken to Orange County Shelter. It was injured, it had a broken elbow. We refer to it as broken elbow all week. Garden Grove had to go and pick it up because it's a Garden Grove animal. Luckily, yesterday, they let, finally, a Pass for Paws go in there and rescue that dog. They literally handed the dog over with 2 pieces of paper, no records of vaccinations, no chip, no cost, no nothing. I'm happy that there's a rescue in there now, a rescue partner that they will work with, but other people have applied and they will not call anybody to come and rescue these animals. Rescues, I volunteered for a rescue. I went down to the Pet Expo a few weeks ago. I picked up a little lab that had been rescued from a shelter, 10 days out of the shelter. I took it down there for a rescue, not for myself. It was adopted by a beautiful family that came in and adopted that dog. I get to see the full circle of rescue, so I know how effective it is. And I don't understand why this shelter will not support it. It works, and it keeps animals from being killed. As usual, I have paperwork for all of you. I'm gonna leave it with you. Thank you for hearing me out, and I hope that we can resolve this. Last time I was here, I said, I don't know what the solution is. This time I'm going to say, the solution is prevention. We need a spay, we need a neuter, we need a chip. We need to make sure there's not all these animals being picked up daily and taken to Huntington Beach, of all places, and to sit in a shelter. The little dog that was rescued yesterday sat in pain for 8 days. And her injury is so much worse than even originally thought. And I don't believe that when Garden Grove posted it, it even posted that it was an injured animal. We only knew that because the county shelter had the animal first. So this is what we're dealing with, and nobody in Garden Grove is happy about it. It escalates daily. Every time I come in here, my head spins because there's so many stories I want to tell you, but I only have 5 minutes. So I bring a crowd, and we've all got stories. Thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you, Jane. Mary Lou Bolanos.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Lou Bolanos. I've been a resident of Garden Grove for the past 4 years. I just want to share a little bit of my story with Orange County Animal Care, the shelter in front of the block. They have one of my dogs that they're trying to kill. I've been fighting for her for the past 3 months. Today, we sat in trial for 6 hours with this lady by the name of Sharon Logan. She's the one that provided one of her attorneys to represent me in court, since I don't have the funds to represent myself and fight for my dog. I just want everybody to know that a lot of the staff from Orange County Animal Care just sat in front of the judge, in front of everyone, under sworn statements, stating that everything that they were saying was true when a lot of it was lies. I just don't think there's such shelter as being a good shelter at all. Especially me fighting for her. I've had her for 9 years, and now they're trying to take my daughter away. To me, she's like a child. I had her since birth. I'm sorry, I'm done.
Sharon Logan.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Sharon Logan. I'm here to address Orange County Animal Care and Orange County Humane Society. I am the plaintiff in Logan versus OC Animal Care. I sued Orange County Animal Care over their euthanasia rates, inhumane treatment of the animals, and not providing veterinary care. We filed a 24-page lawsuit against Orange County Animal Care. We have a 48-page settlement agreement in place with Orange County Animal Care. Part of our 48-page settlement agreement says that for the next 2 years, Orange County Animal Care has to provide my attorneys and my rescue with the list of every single animal that has been euthanized at Orange County Animal Care during the past 2 months. I know that some of the Garden Grove activists are here talking about Orange County Humane Society, but so I'm going to share with you, and I've emailed each of you city council members the euthanasia records for Garden Grove from the last year. So, in June 2016, OC Animal Care killed 942 animals. In July 2016, OC Animal Care killed 795 animals. August 2016, 776. September 2016, 637. October 2016, 523. November 2016, 372. December 2016, 264. Out of those animals, in June 2016, 187 cats from Garden Grove were killed by OC Animal Care. Out of those 187 cats, 177 cats were listed as strays and 10 owner surrenders. In one day, Orange County Animal Care put to sleep 25 kittens because they said that they were underage. 91 Garden Grove cats were killed in July 16 by Orange County Animal Care. 115 cats in August 2016 of Garden Grove killed by Orange County Animal Care. 109 cats killed in September 2017 by Orange County Animal Care. 80 cats killed in October 2017 by Orange County Animal Care. 67 cats killed by Orange County Animal Care in Garden Grove, and 45 killed in December. 4,309 animals were killed at Orange County Care over a 7-month span. Out of those 4,309 animals, 695 of them were cats and kittens from Garden Groves. We haven't even gotten to the dogs yet. At the next hearing, I will present to you the dogs and the euthanasia rate just for the Garden Grove animals for the entire year. With that being said, a class action lawsuit is in the works against Orange County Animal Care. It's going to be filed shortly. There are 2 Garden Grove residents involved in that class action lawsuit. They are suing Orange County Animal Care for unfair, unethical, and illegal business practices. We have 10 plaintiffs so far and 2 more asking to join. Now, with that being said, based on my limited observations over the past few months since Garden Grove moved to OC Humane, I have noticed some deficiencies regarding OC Humane in their handling of certain situations regarding the Garden Grove pets. It is certainly unacceptable to have an animal management system that doesn't interface appropriately with the public so they can find their lost pets as quickly and efficiently as possible. There's also the issue of transparency. Transparency is a cornerstone of progressive animal sheltering. And I would suggest to the city council maybe that you have the director of OC Humane come in here one council night and ask him their policies and procedures and exactly what they are and aren't doing. A lot of what has been said tonight has been hearsay. It's not backed up by evidence or facts or raw data. And in conclusion, if OC Humane doesn't want a bunch of angry advocates from Garden Grove breathing down their necks like at OCAC, they better start fixing the problem ASAP. And I just urge the Garden Grove City Council members to help OC Humane fix the problem and have them come in here and ask them questions and allow the public to ask the director questions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Karen Harris from Westminster.
Hi. Like Jane said, I'm here to tell a story, so I'm going to tell a story about one dog's experience in Garden Grove. Orange County Humane Society has been holding a Chihuahua since 3/27/17. The person who found this dog posted it on the West Garden Grove Lost and Found Animals Facebook page on 3/24. She kept the dog in her home until calling Animal Control for pickup on 3/27. The dog was not posted on the Public Works page until 3/29. Several people started calling about this dog because it was labeled aggressive on the Public Works page. When people called Orange County Humane Society, they were treated rudely and refused information. Someone called Garden Grove Animal Services and was told the dog would be checked out by an animal control officer to find out if the dog was aggressive. Public Works stated the dog would probably be available for adoption on 4/2. It wasn't. Someone interested in the dog called Orange County Humane Society nearly every day. He was continually told the dog is aggressive. We are trying to calm him down. He was told they hadn't even done a medical exam yet because of the aggression. They finally let him visit the dog. He said the dog was very scared and trembling, but by petting it and talking to it, the dog warmed up and seemed friendly to him. He thought the dog was just scared in the shelter environment. At one point, he was told he could adopt the dog even though it was aggressive. He considered adopting the dog, but sadly his situation changed and he wasn't able to. He continued to call about the dog to check on it and provide information to others who were interested. The dog was not being put up for adoption. People posted updates for weeks on the Public Works page. Everyone was concerned the dog would be euthanized because it was labeled as aggressive. All the posts were deleted off the Public Works page when they moved Animal Control to a new web page. That means all the unanswered questions and complaints were also deleted. He continued to call Orange County Humane Society to find out the status of the dog and was met with hostility. Rose at the front desk was always rude and tried to rush him off the phone. She continually asked, "Why are you asking these questions? Are you going to report us? Why does it seem like they're always trying to hide something?" On 4/15, a call to Orange County Humane provided the latest update. They told him the dog was sick and being monitored by vets. They have him on antibiotics. They hope he gets better, and once he gets better, they are going to transfer him to a Garden Grove rescue facility. He said he had the number to the facility and would keep checking in. There is no Garden Grove rescue facility. The number they gave him turned out to be a Garden Grove Public Works animal control number. He called the number and was told that the dog had a respiratory infection. My guess is kennel cough from being at the shelter so long. They previously told him they hadn't done a medical exam on the dog because he was too aggressive. They said when the dog gets well, he will be sent to a rescue in Culver City. Orange County Humane Society doesn't want to let local rescues in, but they're going to send this dog to an unnamed rescue in Culver City. Why would this dog be sent to rescue when they were going to let someone adopt him at one point? If this dog had been available for adoption to the general public, he would have easily found a home. There were many people inquiring about him. On 4/25, he again called Garden Grove Animal Care Service to inquire about the dog's health. He said the employee was extremely rude, but told him the dog had recovered from its illness and was being neutered. He asked for the name of the rescue the dog was going to be sent to. The employee would not tell him. She rudely said he would have to get the name from the public records request. On 5/4, Public Works posted a video showing the dog had been taken to a rescue, the Found Animals Foundation. A call was made to the foundation's Adopt shop. Chris from the shop said this was an under-the-radar drop-off, a one-time thing, that they normally don't take in dogs from Orange County. If there was never any intention of putting the dog up for adoption, why wasn't a rescue contacted earlier? Why not a local rescue? This little Chihuahua could have been in a foster home instead of in the shelter for over a month. Thank you for your time.
Christine Stoner. Everybody back.
Obviously,
Everybody back.
yeah,
Yep.
we're all together.
Told you I was bringing in
All good.
I just have a few questions. I don't know if, I'm kind of new to this, and I don't know if you are if we can interact, if you answer questions
No.
now? No, okay.
It's just oral communications. You just speak to us. And
Okay.
staff is sort of taking notes on follow-ups.
Okay, perfect. I am obviously here for the animals of Garden Grove. I have had several encounters with the new animal care in Huntington Beach, and I was met with rudeness. I was met with just complete hostility from everybody there. As for the cats, so far they've euthanized 61 cats, and they're being labeled feral cats. One of these cats was a family pet for 5 years that had to be surrendered, and somebody else adopted it. Didn't get along with their cat at home. They brought it to the shelter, and the cat was then euthanized, considering it feral. I kind of like the idea about having somebody come from the shelter and maybe answer some questions, because every time I ask them questions about different animals, they are very hostile with me. They're very guarded, and I don't know why. I'm here to help. I'm here to get any kind of dog or cat rescued and in a home. I mean, these could be one of your pets that gets out by mistake, and you lose your animal, and it's then you find out your dog of 9 years was euthanized because it was labeled vicious. It's a problem. I don't know the answer, but I'm really hoping that we can get somebody from Huntington Beach and we can sit down and talk about this, and maybe we can come to a conclusion for this, because this just keeps going in a circle. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Maureen Blackman. You were born ready.
doubt that. I wasn't prepared to speak. If I was, I would have talked about our annual meeting on June 10th, which a Garden Grove Neighborhood Association does every year. An opportunity to fellowship with your neighbors, listen to officials speak about events that are going on in our community. But I usually leave that to John Wildsmith. Or I would talk about some of the other interesting things. But more or less what I was drawn to talk about was a differentiation between Orange County Animal Care, which I call the Pound, on City Drive, just for clarification, the Pound, and which Garden Grove was involved with for quite some time. Their fees got to be exorbitant. Garden Grove, as of January 1st, decided to take matters into their own hands. And I don't say this for you, I say this for the audience. And we went to Orange County Humane Society, which is not a humane society, but it's a private kennel in Huntington Beach that Costa Mesa and Garden Grove contract with to take care of their animals. Do they have some problems? Yeah. Are we on a learning curve? Yes. Is the city, in my opinion, doing the best they can possibly do to make the situation better? I believe that the answer is yes. I know that we're in negotiations to try, communications to try to bring both sides together and listen to each other and take that listening and turn it into good things happening for our pets. I'm not convinced that after 5 days the gas is turned on. I don't know. I don't have that. I've been talking with Jane and because I'd like to stick my head in the sand and think all pets are being well taken care of, but when 2 of my little mongrels got out, I had to go through this myself. But I just want to make sure that the audience understands there's 2 different situations we're talking about in terms of OC Animal Care, which is the Pound, and their euthanasia rates, and the Humane Society, for lack of saying OC, because once 2 words are out, everyone's brain goes bzzz. So anyway, it's a conversation that we definitely want to have. I think these people have tremendous hearts and passion, but I also want to have an understanding that it's not as bleak and as doomed as things may seem to be. I'd love to work with these people. I'd love the city to work with them because I think we can do great things. So, and June 10th, the annual meeting.
Thank you, Maureen. Charles Mitchell.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council and staff. I noticed on the agenda that we're having a proclamation regarding the naming of the Veterans Hospital in Long Beach after Tiber Rubin, a recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor. Now, it may not occur to many of you, the date May 8th, which was yesterday, was VE Day. That was the day we declared victory in Europe in World War II. Now, Tiber Rubin was not a veteran of World War II. He was in a concentration camp during World War II because he was Jewish. After he was rescued from the concentration camp, came to this country, joined the army, served in the Korean War, distinguished service that again earned him the Congressional Medal of Honor. But the students that are here tonight may want to think about their history and think about our veterans and what is owed to them. Our American Legion Post has a close association with the Veterans Hospital. We visit them on a regular basis, bingo games for the people there. A lot of these veterans, some of them from World War II and later conflicts, come into that hospital with virtually nothing, not barely clothes on their back. We do everything we can to support them. But one of the things that we do that everyone can do, we all go to the dentist on a regular basis, I hope. And when we do, as we're leaving the dentist's office, we're given a little bag that has a toothbrush, a toothpaste, some mouthwash, some dental floss. If you're at the dentist and you're ready to leave, ask your dentist, do you have any extra samples that you'd be willing to donate to the Veterans Hospital? Every time I go to the dentist, I come back with a case of toothpaste or toothbrushes that we can donate to the hospital. If you do this, you can drop off those donations at our American Legion post on Beach Boulevard between Bolsa and Hazard, across from the Memorial Park. And we will make sure that it gets to the hospital so that these veterans will have something to help them get through the ordeal they're going through. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Nicholas Dibbs.
Mayor Jones, distinguished members of the council, residents of Garden Grove, my name is Nicholas Dibbs, and I'm here to speak on a couple of items. The first one being the recognition, this being the 5th anniversary today, the council and the Garden Grove Community Foundation put together an excellent event honoring our college graduates from Garden Grove. And I didn't know until the event was over and speaking with our mayor that he was the one that came up with the idea. So Mayor Jones, thank you very much for coming up with that idea 4 years ago, honoring our distinguished graduates from Garden Grove. I prepared a letter as a teacher, educator, and graduate of Pacifica High School. I'm glad to see our Pacifica Mariner students here at a council meeting. I'm going to read my message to the graduates, and this applies to the high school graduates as well as the college graduates. Success, as I prefer defining it, is devoting and utilizing your career, talents, and abilities, helping others and oneself achieve much needed positive change for a better future nation and world. Dear Garden Grove, class of 2017 graduates, please accept my sincere congratulations as well as my personal recommendations and advice in recognition and honor of your special milestone achievement, graduation from college. Someone once said, when you discover a job and career you enjoy doing, you will never work a day in your life. So this is my first piece of advice to you because you will be devoting about 80,000 work hours during your lifetime. So my advice is to find a job and career you enjoy doing. Secondly, and perhaps equally as important, I ask each of you to please devote your talents and abilities and your precious 80,000 work hours working in a career to help achieve much needed positive change. This means achieving a better future by helping others, your community, city, nation, and world. This also means putting people's welfare and the greater good of individuals and humanity ahead of greed, corruption, and unfair and unethical results and outcomes. In closing, I ask you to please read the attached Beyond Vietnam speech given 50 years ago by Martin Luther King Jr., and to dedicate your life's precious work and endeavors to help achieve a more just and fair future with freedom and liberty and justice for all. That is my message, and the speech that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave 50 years ago on April the 4th, 1967 at Riverside Church in New York was the speech he gave 1 year exactly to the day before he was assassinated. And it was a speech in which he gave when the country was predominantly in favor of the Vietnam War. He spoke out against war and militarism. And that speech, if you read it, is just as appropriate and perhaps more appropriate today when we find our troops overseas engaged in battles and wars that we shouldn't have gotten into in the first place, be it in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, and so on. And we must work for peace and justice if we are, as a nation and as a humanity, in a what I call spaceship Earth. We can't get off this planet, and so we have to all work together for a better future. And so my encouragement to all the graduates, whether it's in college or high school, is to please work for peace and justice and follow the legacy and lead of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I want to quote George Bernard Shaw, "Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I have got a hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations." Tibor Rubin, I'm going to segue over to him. He was a good neighbor. I live across the street from where he used to live. Congressional Medal of Honor that Charles Mitchell just mentioned. But Tibor Rubin, when you study his life and what he did, he was not only a Congressional Medal of Winter Honor, but he was also a peacemaker. And so our veterans suffer, as we all know, but the key is to avoid wars so that we don't have to have veterans suffering. And so please dedicate your life and career to bringing peace, justice, and liberty for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. And that concludes our public comments. Anybody want to take a break, or should we keep plowing forward? Okay, we're going to move on to other agencies, so we'll open up successor agency. If you guys all want to pop over on your screen to successor. So we'll open up successor agency. Madam Clerk, would you like to call roll?
Member O'Neill?
Here.
Member T. Win? Member Bowie?
Yeah.
Member Klopfenstein?
Here.
Member K. Win?
Here.
Vice Chair Beard?
Here.
And Chair Jones?
Here. Okay, we already did oral communication simultaneously with City Council, so we'll move on to consent items. Just receive and file the minutes and approval of the warrants. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Sweet. Worked. We have no other items, so we'll move on to any matters from agency members. Seeing none, we will adjourn, I think, just back to City Council. Mayday. Okay, and we'll go on to consent items. Recommended that items 3A through 3F are acted on in one motion unless anyone would like to pull an item. Anyone would like to pull?
I would. I'd like to pull 3D, please.
You got it. We'll pull 3D. Do I have any other pulls or a motion for the balance?
Make a motion to move the balance.
Second.
Call the vote.
Who was that? Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Thank you. 3D as pulled by Councilmember Klopfenstein.
Yes, I would just appreciate if we could, I realize we do have a staff report here. I would just like to
go in depth if we can with what is to take place and what our outcome will be, or what we hope our outcome will be, and if we could just kind of detail and bullet point some of the important information within this study.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. The parking study originated from a Reimagine campaign initiative, and originally developed from an online Mind Mixer forum. And one of the top items on the list were requests from the community for a parking management plan. So that originated the study, the original RFP that went out. And the consultant will be taking a detailed look at the existing supply, demand, and future build-out and the zoning code of the Civic Center area. And based on all that information, the consultant will make a site and size recommendation for future parking structures, and also identify custom strategies and standards for management of the study area, and also provide flexibility for future uses.
May I? Yeah, 1 second. John Holm actually spoke, and he was asking about particular events and times of the year. Obviously, when we know the parking lot on Main Street and other areas to be more busy than others, how are we looking at that? Just to kind of answer his questions about when exactly they'll be out there, and how broad does the study go, and at what times and such.
Included in the parking study is a parking count, and the data collection will include 1 or 2 days of parking collection for 12 hours. And included in the interview questions with the Main Street commissioners, they did suggest either doing it on Friday or Saturday to include events such as, existing annual events or future events.
Question? Will the will this vendor also interview the business on Main Street to see how it is impact them, or is that they are just going to do it on their own?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Are they is the vendor fair and fair? Are they going to interact with the folk from Main Street, the business from Main Street, to understand their business better and determine their needs, not just current but future? Is that part of the scope of work?
Yes, it is part of the scope of work. The staff actually decided to form an advisory committee, which would include business owners, Main Street Commission, any important stakeholders, and include any important decisions that they would like to look at for future.
Will we do a parking count during some major musical event at the amphitheater?
Yes, that was one of the suggestions during the interview process, to include major events, community events such as open streets or music festivals like LFA, to include all of the new community events that will be incorporated into downtown.
Councilmember Tuhon.
And Mr. Mayor, Councilman Bowie, to just kind of piggyback on to what Lena had said, one of the reasons that they're thinking about is trying to get started with this study in time while the Garden Grove High School school season is still going on, because obviously the whole Civic Center area, it goes through different iterations throughout the year, when school's in, when school's out, when the Strawberry Festival's in. I think that was part of what Mr. Holmes' comment was, make sure you look at big events as well as not just on a Tuesday morning when nothing's going on. So I think they'll take all of that into account.
Tuhon.
And for the survey, there's a study for the regarding to the parkings. For the report that later on they compiling, is it possible we can see the comparison with the neighbor city of how they do as well, or just focus on what we have on Main Street only?
That could be a possibility. The Fear and Pairs, we selected them because they're flexible and any staff requests, whether we want to compare or look at other cities. And Fear and Pairs has experience with working with surrounding cities such as Anaheim and Westminster. So,
Yeah, because I would like to see that in the report as well, so we can have some broader pictures.
yes.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh, I had a question, just to clarify for the public too. This study encompasses not only Main Street, but the Civic Center area, and also this agreement was selected by staff members and 3 Main Street commissioners, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And actually, the initial contract is for $59,991, and then there's optional tasks that we could either have or not have at an additional $20,000 as in-person surveys and things like that. So it's a very comprehensive study
Yes.
to take into account everything that's happening in our future here, a possible parking structure somewhere, and to accommodate everything that we've got going on. So I just wanted everybody to be aware of that. Is that all correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Beard?
Yeah, just a few questions. It says part of the scope of work is to review past parking studies. Do we have past parking studies done for the city?
Yes, we do have past parking studies, but the past parking studies, none of them are comprehensive studies. Most of them are done specifically on projects or for specific zoning reasons.
Okay, so no comprehensive study in the general vicinity of, so the areas are Stanford, Main, Grove, Euclid, and 9th Street, pretty much Garden Grove Boulevard.
Yes.
That's the area. So we talked about the school being done relatively quickly. In their original time scope, the timing was April to October, so that would be adjusted, correct? So that would be the immediate thing, is to do the study of the school area right now, because that has the biggest impact here in the Civic Center parking. Well, with that, so the duration will be approximately 6 months?
Yes, correct.
Who makes the decision on the options to undertake the outreach efforts to do the surveying? Does the city do that? City council, city manager, the working group you mentioned?
The project team will be collaborating with an advisory committee. So that together with the advisory committee, we'll work with the consultants to decide if we would.
So they make that decision whether they want to go further with surveys?
Yes.
Okay, so that's done on their part. Is there a cost not to exceed this amount of 80,000 plus?
Yes.
Okay, and what the person selected, the company, I noticed that the sums are, say, $245 an hour for one principal, $235 for another, $165. So is that the standard? Is that the going rate? Is that comparable for charges for those types of that work for the consultants?
These consultants most of them are traffic engineers, and they have technical skills with specialization in transportation planning. So
Okay.
these are the going rates.
Has this company done surveys or traffic studies for surrounding or nearby cities, be it Anaheim or Costa Mesa?
Yes. They've
Yes?
done studies for Fullerton, Anaheim, Westminster, La Habra, Hermosa Beach.
So they're well experienced in this. Okay, so they're leaders pretty much in the field of this. So last question is, it says mention shared parking options. What does that mean? What's shared parking option? Is that related to bicycle use, walking trails? Is it valet parking? I don't understand what that means.
The shared parking model is a tool that is used to assist in analysis of forecasting future demand.
Okay,
So
what does that mean?
It would be a tool that we can either in a GIS system, they would document what is existing and what the future demand is, like pretty much make it like a.
I think the shared part is like, for example, Acacia that uses it during the day, but they don't use parking at night, could share their parking
Okay.
lot with other
Is that
uses
what that
at
means?
complementary hours and things
So
like that.
does that mean the 8 to 8 time period, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.? Does that have to be adjusted if it's that use or that shared model? So is that
Not quite
taken into
sure.
consideration?
I would have to ask the consultant.
Okay, well, sorry, almost to the last end of my questions here. They mentioned that you're assessing the future parking conditions, would that take into consideration planned or proposed or projected projects that may be coming forward? Cottage Industries, developments here along Euclid? Is that taking that into account?
Yes, that's exactly what
Do
that's
they
for.
make assumptions and projections based on what that we, as a city, project the numbers will be for those projects?
It would be based on the projects and also based on the existing zoning code and parking standards that we currently have.
Okay, well, I'm talking about numbers here. So we know, we project this project at this location will generate this many traffic, this much traffic, this many, the parking needs. So it's really getting in there. How far in the future does that project? 5 years, 10 years, something like that?
I'm not sure. Probably by 5 years.
Okay, and it will take into consideration maybe the amphitheater, the increased use of the amphitheater for concerts?
Yes.
And the outpost events that were planned? Okay.
Councilman, if I just might add, when you're talking about how many years out might it project, I'm sure that one of the important factors or things that they're going to talk to us about is exactly what you said. Some of the projects we've got going on in the Civic Center area. So if the, once we get the Cottage Industries project up and running, what will that mean, with the project, other projects, we're talking about Main Street, bringing new businesses onto Main Street. What kind of, if we add some more restaurants or something else, what are the, the numbers of parking spaces that we might need to expect? If the amphitheater is really kicking up and going, being much more actively promoted than it has in the past, what are the needs for that? What days of the week might it be needed? And it might actually serve to really help some of our developers in the area and groups like LFA that are trying to promote the amphitheater to really think about, also for them to analyze and think about what are the best times to promote different things when there's going to be the greatest availability of parking. So I think it'll get into some of that too.
Okay, final question, really the final question, that is the funding. 3 different cities are going to review the funding, potential funding for it. That's in the scope of work. Funding recommendations review. So that's included in the scope of work as well. So they'll tell us potential funding for whatever they come up with, an assessment, a need, and so going forward, they'll give us recommendations on that as well. Correct? Okay.
Yes, correct.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I'd like to weigh in for a minute on it. So it was pointed out, but typically we see parking studies or traffic studies come to us in the form of project-specific studies. So it's usually like, a developer wants to build something at some site and they're studying the availability of parking around there. This is completely different. This is a comprehensive parking plan. So this is a 30,000-foot perspective looking at the whole area and trying to understand kind of current needs, future estimates of kind of where we're going. So it's not a typical parking study if we've seen it. And Farron Pierce is not a typical firm. So I know our staff did a really good job of doing their homework and selecting this firm. I'm familiar with them. Westminster has used them recently as they were updating their general plan and as they're trying to make a kind of a renewed focus on kind of the Bolsa corridor as the hub of Little Saigon tourism, that kind of stuff. So they're looking at an outside-the-box kind of perspective on parking in that area. And they hired Farron Pierce, and just the feedback I'm getting is they're doing a wonderful job. So they're outside-the-box thinkers. They look at this thing holistically, and they're looking at they're not just parking space counters. They're really kind of planners and visionaries in terms of how they approach it. They're creative and they're really cool. So I'm looking forward to this. I think they're going to come up with some good stuff for us.
And just may I add something to that? And that's why I was asking those detailed questions, because it's more than just a count cars and this is where people park.
Yep.
It's going into the future, it is comprehensive. So I think I'm supportive of this comprehensive plan.
Is that a motion?
So I'll move that.
Second it.
Second.
Call the vote.
Bless you. Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Thank you. We'll now move on to public hearings. Item 4A, issuance of a bond for the acquisition or rehab project.
Item 4A is an adoption of a resolution approving the issuance of bonds by the California Public Finance Authority for the benefit of 10632 Bolsa Avenue LP to assist with the financing for the existing 78-unit multifamily affordable housing development, Sycamore Court, located at 10632 Bolsa Avenue, Garden Grove. And Ms. Wilson is here to give the report.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council. Tonight you are asked to conduct a public hearing pursuant to the Federal Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act, also known as TEFRA. TEFRA requires that a public hearing be held by the governing body of the jurisdiction in which a project to be financed is located, and that the governing body adopt a resolution approving the issuance of bonds by the California Public Finance Authority, or CalPFA. 10632 Bolsa Avenue LP proposes to obtain tax-exempt financing in an amount not to exceed $15 million to finance the acquisition, construction, improvement, and equipping of an existing 78-unit affordable housing community located at 10632 Bolsa in Garden Grove. CalPFA is a joint powers authority formed to assist local governments, nonprofit organizations, and businesses with the issuance of both taxable and tax-exempt bonds. The bonds to be issued by the CalPFA for the project will be the sole responsibility of 10632 Bolsa Avenue LP, and the city will have no financial, legal, or moral obligation, liability, or responsibility for the repayment of the bonds for the financing of the project. All financing documents with respect to the issuance of the bonds will contain clear disclaimers that the bonds are not obligations of the city or the state of California, but are to be paid for solely from funds provided by the borrower. A TEFRA hearing was previously held on May 24th, 2016, before the City Council. At that hearing, Council approved Resolution 9362-16, approving the issuance of housing bonds by the CalPFA for this project. However, the bonds have not yet been issued, and the prior approvals will expire on May 24th, 2017. Therefore, another TEFRA hearing is requested to extend the time frame for the issuance of the housing bonds for this project. Tonight, it is recommended that the City Council conduct a public hearing, accept comments regarding the adoption of the resolution approving the issuance of bonds by the California Public Finance Authority for the benefit of 10632 Bolsa Avenue LP to provide financing for the proposed 78-unit affordable housing project located at 10632 Bolsa Avenue, and adopt the resolution in favor of the issuance of the bonds by the CalPFA. Representatives from CalPFA and the developer are here tonight, and together with myself, we are available to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Allison. Any questions of staff? Seeing none. This is a public hearing item, so I don't have any cards. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. And go for it.
One question for staff. Most of these are temporary displacements while they're remodeling their unit. Could anybody possibly be displaced or lose a benefit because of the move? Do you know? Like if they're receiving any kind of housing money?
If the project goes forward, we do anticipate that there will be temporary relocation. However, we anticipate that most, if not all, of the residents will be able to return to their homes once they are rehabilitated.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just comment. I see Sean in the audience. I know you have a wealth of experience in this particular realm, and you're an expert in it. And you've done several projects in our city before that I've seen from start to finish and have come out wonderfully. So I'm excited that you're back and that you're doing this, and I know you're going to do a great job, so thanks. And I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution approving issuance of the bond.
Second.
Call the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Thank you. That's approved. I believe there's a tangent item to this project that's coming up in a few more items. But we're still in public hearings now. We'll go on to 4B, which is Spring 2017 weed and rubbish abatement.
And Chief Schultz is here to give the report.
Good evening, Council.
Mayor and council members. My name's Tom Schultz, your fire chief, and what you have before you today is the need to hold a public hearing for the receipt of any objections to the weed abatement notices that were mailed to parcel owners on March 15th of this year. On March 14th of 2017, City Council adopted Resolution 9413-17 pursuant to Section 39500 of the California Government Code, declaring a nuisance existed in conjunction with the presence of weeds, rubbish, and debris on certain properties within the city. A public hearing was scheduled for May 9th, 2017 to receive any objections, and that's what we're doing tonight. Parcel owners had until April 16th, 2017 to clear their properties. The city weed abatement official re-inspected the properties on April 24th of this year, and the parcels were determined not to be clear of this hazard. A city contractor will begin clearing privately owned properties that are not in compliance with this order on May 10th, 2017, with the slated work to begin about 30 days after that. This has no financial impact on the city, and it is my recommendation tonight to is to recommend that the City Council hold a public hearing, receive testimony, or take any one of the following actions: uphold the objections or order individuals to properties to be removed from the schedule, to overrule any objections, and direct staff to proceed with the scheduled weed abatement, or, if there's no objections, direct staff to proceed with the scheduled weed abatement. That's my report.
Thanks, Chief. Any questions on the report? Seeing none, this is a public hearing. I don't have any cards on it. Anyone wish to speak on weed abatement? Come on up.
Yes, I'm Brad Weber, and I own the property at 11461 Westminster Avenue and 13931 New Hope Street. And I didn't get my properties back until the end of March. They were in receivership, and I was prohibited from even entering the property. And once I was able to enter the property, I immediately began going over and working on the weeds. And I work on them each day to try and clear the situation. The receiver let the weeds get out of control and is the one responsible for the mess on the property. I've taken care of the weed control there for 47 years, and there's never been a mess on the property in 47 years as far as the weeds getting out of control. Right now, the weeds are about 80% cut as of this date. And I've been cutting weeds each day since I got the property back. I'm nearly 70 years old, and I have to do an incremental amount each day. In other words, I can't go over there and work 8 or 10 hours a day. And I have made progress on it to the extent that about 85% of the weeds have been cut. And I would like to try and get some extra time to complete the job.
Thank you, sir. I don't know how we address that or who would like to take a crack at it.
Mayor, you have an option as the City Council to overrule or say that you would like a different path to be taken rather than us using the city contractor to do that. You could give him some additional time if you'd like, or we could have the city contractor pursue and finish up the job.
Can we leave that to staff discretion to kind of look into that situation and see if he's making progress towards moving forward and he's going to get it done on his own within a timely manner, then contemplate working with him, and if not, then...
Could I ask a question? It wasn't clear as to whether they were going to begin the work tomorrow on the 10th or if there was a 30-day period. Could you clarify that?
The work can start any time after the 10th?
Oh, I see. Okay. Not to exceed 30 days.
My recommendation is that if we're going to give additional time, we give a date certain, like, for example, 2 more weeks. We do have a history with these properties, so we do need to set a specific time, otherwise we won't get compliance, and it is a safety issue.
Well, I was going to bring a letter outlining what's going on from Mr. Milford Dahl, a senior partner at Rutan and Tucker, but Mr. Dahl won't be back until next Monday. And I was going to have him write a letter, and I was going to read it. There's a lot of strange things that have gone on in this receivership, and rather shocking things. And
Rutan Tucker is your legal counsel? Or what
Yeah,
is Rutan?
Finally, in the very end, after getting trampled in this situation, I retained Mr. Milford Dahl, who is a senior partner at Rutan and Tucker. And he got in there, he's an old friend of the senior partner of the law firm that you use, and he was able to get in and straighten things out very quickly and draw up a stipulation and get rid of the judge and get rid of the receiver and such. And
Mr. Mayor, could I ask a question of the
Please.
property owner? Sir, in your opinion, how much percentage would you say you've cleared at this point of the two properties? One more than the other, or?
Well, 85, I would say it's about 85% as far as the weed cutting goes.
On both properties?
On both properties.
Yeah,
Now,
some photos would have helped maybe, but for us to make a decision.
well, Mr. Dahl went out personally and took a lot of photos. And so when a senior partner at Rutan and Tucker goes out and personally takes photos, he was interested in helping me.
Yeah. I understand your situation. We're just trying to figure out if we can get the weeds cleared as soon as possible, and we'd like to help you,
Yeah,
I'm sure, but.
Is there a fire prevention man that this was assigned to? About all I know is I do digital searches, and it came up, I think they were going to do something at the last council meeting, but it didn't show up on the agenda, and now it showed up on the agenda.
Right. One last question. If we did give you extra time, in your opinion, how long would it take you to clear both your lots to the satisfaction of the city requirements?
Well, the weed problem is close to being done, but I don't know what the total scope of the fire department fire prevention specialist, what he has in mind. Is he a younger fellow than the chief? Who is the fellow that was signed?
He would definitely be the younger fellow, not me. But yeah, our prevention technician went out there and surveyed the site and determined that it still needs to be abated. The weeds have not been abated, and this is weed abatement and rubbish abatement. And the initial notice you received, it would outline the specifics to that. To the council's question, I would be comfortable giving a little additional time, but no more than 2 weeks. Because this is a nuisance and it's potentially a hazard to other neighbors in the area. I would be comfortable with that, but if we did not have it abated by that period of time, I would strongly recommend that we use the contractor to clear the abatement.
Hey,
Could I meet with the gentleman to see what the full scope is? Because the receiver did not complete his contract even. That was a bad situation.
Yeah, I think we could assist with that, but we would
so
get you
I-
together sometime this week. That way, we would still meet that two-week benchmark. I'm not much comfortable going past 2 weeks.
Thank you. Let me jump back in here for a sec. So I want to just to not let the whole meeting get derailed. We're focused on the specific item at hand, which is weed and rubbish abatement. It doesn't pertain just specifically to your property. So I would encourage you guys to schedule meetings, get together, talk about all the other components of what's going on with your properties. I understand there's history. On this particular item, I would suggest that we accommodate the 2-week extension on this specific property with regard to weed and rubbish abatement. And I'd ask that we could move along on this, staying focused on this item.
Does the younger gentleman have an office hour where I could meet with him and find out exactly what the scope of See, there were things that the receiver was supposed to do in his written contract that he didn't even complete.
Are you talking specifically about weed and rubbish abatement, or are you talking about other things in the contract?
Well,
Mr. Mayor,
The item at hand has to do with weed and rubbish abatement.
Yeah.
So with all due respect, I need to stay focused on that. So I think we're done.
I'll be happy to discuss this offline with.
Yeah, great. Thank you, sir.
because I need to meet with the gentleman.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other comments regarding weed and rubbish abatement?
I came by at lunch this morning to take a look at this property, and I think that it has been cleaned much. However, there are still a lot of dry grass that are still a little bit tall, and I am concerned that if someone playing something, throwing a cigarette onto it, it may catch fire, and this is a very large lot of land. And if it catch fire, it might catch fire very quickly.
I'll call you back up.
And could be a public safety hazard. And so I think if we, if Mr. Weber indicate that he would like to clean it, and he have cleaned 80% of it, I think that he need to realize that he need to clean it according to what the city feel that that need to be done, not what he feel that he already done. And to me, this morning when I came by, it's still a public safety hazard to me, and so I would like to limit it to no more than 2 weeks, and also he need to clean it as the city mandate him to clean it, not what he feels that he can do.
Thank you. Council, would you like us to handle that as a separate thing, or just
No, I
an
think that you
instruction
can.
to staff that it's okay for this one to go 2 weeks? Does that have
You
to
can
be-
move it so that we can go forward with the abatement with a proviso that the two properties, the property owner will have 2 weeks to work with our fire department to abate it. Otherwise, if in 2 weeks it's not abated, then our contractor will go ahead and abate the weed and rubbish.
Sounds good. Any other public comments? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Council members, would somebody like to, any more comments, or would someone like to move that as
I'll move that
stated?
motion as presented by the city attorney. 2-week extension, if it is to be
Second.
abated, if it's not.
Call the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Thank you. We'll move on to items for consideration. Item 5A. And
Item
this is-
5A, oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, you?
Item 5A is an adoption of a resolution approving the relocation plan related to 10632 Bolsa Avenue, LP's proposed 78-unit acquisition, rehabilitation, and affordable housing development, Sycamore Court, located at 10632 Bolsa Avenue, Garden Grove. And Mr. Robbins is here to give the staff report.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. The item you have before you is the relocation plan for the Sycamore Court Apartments project, which is related to the TEFRA hearing Ms. Wilson presented earlier. Federal and state relocation law requires adoption of a relocation plan if temporary or permanent displacement might occur as a direct result of the implementation of a public program or project. The city and developer Merriman and Company are negotiating the terms of an affordable housing agreement for the project that staff anticipates presenting for your consideration at the June 13th, 2017 regular meeting. If approved, the project will include developers' acquisition and substantial rehabilitation of an existing 78-unit housing development located near Euclid Street and Bolsa Avenue. The rehabilitation will occur in phases where work will be performed on groups of 5 to 7 units at a time until the full rehabilitation is complete. As each group of units is rehabilitated, residents will be required to vacate their unit for approximately 7 days. All eligible expenses for each temporary move and full compliance with relocation law are the sole financial responsibility of the developer, as described in the relocation plan. To comply with federal and state relocation requirements, a complete copy of the draft relocation plan was provided to all of the existing households, as well as being placed at various sites throughout the city. The draft relocation plan was made available to the public for review and comment beginning April 7th, 2017, and continues until the conclusion of tonight's meeting. So far, no comments have been received. The relocation plan was prepared by a professional relocation consultant retained by the developer, and city staff and special counsel had reviewed and approved the draft relocation plan. Tonight, you're asked to adopt the attached resolution approving the relocation plan and authorize the city manager and his designees to implement the relocation plan. And Sean Boyd, the COO of Merriman and Company, is here, and he and I are available to answer any questions you might have. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Nate. Any questions of staff? Or any questions of the developer, any of that? Okay, seeing that this is not a public hearing item, it's just an item for consideration, so we can go ahead and move it.
Motion to move.
Second.
Call the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Cool. Congratulations. Looking forward to seeing it getting going. That concludes our regular business, so we just move on to matters. Any matters from council members, starting with Councilmember Beard? We'll go around the horn.
Sure. Yeah, you know, we've had some comments made by members of the public on animal care services, and we started January 1st. And June will be 6 months. Could we have a report back on animal care services in our city, how it's working, how it's performing, if it's okay with the council?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor and Councilman Beard, it's been a hectic first 4 months trying to get everything up and running, but the program is in place, and what we wanted to do is right after we, probably at the end of June, bring a comprehensive report to council, what's been accomplished today, where we stand, what we're still working on, that sort of thing. And so we're starting to put that information together now. So if that's not too far away, we'd like to get that to you first half of the year. And then I think our expectation is to try and get quarterly reports to you thereafter. If that's okay, that's what we'll work to get something to you beginning of July.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Just basic how it started out, issues, opportunities, challenges, and all that.
Certainly, yeah. We're doing some preliminary work on that now.
Okay. And I just want to, if there's any Pacifica High students left over, hi, everybody. Welcome. Must be the end of the school year, huh? And I think Pacifica does a great job in their civics program. Having you come to city council meetings, I hope you learned something tonight. I know I have. So welcome, and I hope to see you at future meetings down the road. And I wish you success in your graduation.
John O'Neill.
Yeah, so congratulations to all the graduates, all the way from college down to kindergarten. It's always a big thing to make that change to the next level. So congratulations on that. One thing I just wanted to mention, if you haven't already, download the Garden Grove app. There's a lot of services on that app on your phone that you can access without having to call City Hall. You can push a couple buttons on your cell phone and tell us that there's shopping carts out, or there's mattresses laying out, or somebody's not parked right, or there's a code violation. You can all do it from the tip of your fingertip on the phone. So, and it helps the city because we get it immediately emailed, it gets to the right person, and it gets taken care of usually within a day or two. So I just want to remind everybody to download that Garden Grove app. Thank you.
Thank you, too.
I just want to shout out to all the graduates from kindergarten, junior high, to college, to postgraduate. Congratulations to all. It's a big accomplishment. Even though today is only 35 the graduates, but we know that Garden Grove will have many more out there. So I wish you best of luck and do more civic engagement. We need you.
Thank you. Kim Nguyen. Stephanie.
I would like to speak on something that's taken place very recently this week. A bill was passed by the Assembly basically stating that communism would no longer be a fireable offense. for California government employees. And obviously, this bill will now go on to the Senate. I personally feel that communism is everything that the United States stands against. And I find it extremely offensive to the men and women who fought against communism and the oppression of that in Vietnam, our own United States veterans, and all free people who have fought against tyrannical communist regimes. I feel it's extremely important for us as a city to show our opposition to this bill. And so I'm asking for the support of my fellow council members to agendize our opposition to this bill in the form of a resolution. I spoke with City Manager Scott Stiles about this earlier today, and my council member Fat Bowie was gracious enough and wanted to help me with this and partner with this. And do you want to mention the press release, please?
Yes. First of all, I would like to express my deep appreciation to Councilmember Stephanie Klopfenstein, and my apologize for not being laser sharp focused today because I had some problem with my ulcer last night. It kept me awake all night. Let me take a moment to point out why this is such a huge concern for so many Vietnamese Americans here in Garden Grove as well as worldwide. 40 years ago, they risked their life, give up everything, and face the cruel sea, pirates, you name it. And they have the reason that they risk so much is because they cannot live under the brutal oppression of the Vietnamese Communist government in Vietnam. We have learned it on, not only in Vietnam, but in Cambodia, in China, and nowadays in North Korea. They are very brutal to their citizens. There are no freedom of religions. There are no freedom of speech, no freedom of the press. There are no democracy. Recently, in the last 6 months, the Vietnam Communist government have stepped up their brutalities. They attacked the fathers, the priests, when they tried to file a lawsuit against the company that have caused a major environmental disaster, and they only want to go to the court and sue that company for compensation. Yet the communist police brutally beaten them up. Some of them were even killed, and they are trying to not allow some of those Catholic priests to practice religion anymore. And so this is why so many of your Vietnamese Americans here in Garden Grove become intertwined with it, because they know they escape from it and they cannot stand seeing their relatives, their cousins, their friends still being oppressed, still having no freedoms. And that is why it is so important to them to oppose this bill, State Assembly Bill AB 22. What this bill does is it will remove the language allowing state agency to fire someone if they are an active member of the Communist parties. Now, if we think narrowly and thought that this is only affecting the American here that belong to the Communist Party, no, it's not, because there may be many Vietnamese communists that belong to the Vietnamese Communist Party that came here. They could came here under the EB-5 programs. They could came here as under working visa, and then they could work for state agency. And when that happened, the Vietnamese are very concerned because it may push their own agenda with our agency, and that's why they would like to oppose this. And I really thank you, Council members Stephanie, to step out and propose this in the form of the resolution that we would send to the state senate and to the governor and urging them not to pass this bill along. There's one more point I would like to make. When we become naturalized to be U.S. citizens, we were under oath proclaim that we will never be a part of the Communist Party. I myself did that some 30 years ago when I became a U.S. citizen. I have to raise my hand on the Bible and proclaim that I will not join the Communist Party. So why would the state allow this? Because it will send a wrong message to the Vietnamese Communist government that they can continue business as usual, they can continue to oppress the people, they can continue to harass the people and prohibit freedom of religion. So I urge my colleague to talk about this resolution, allow staff to work with us to come up with a draft, and then we can discuss whether we would vote to send it to the state senate, state assembly, and to the governor. Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody else, please.
Thank you, Councilwoman Stephanie, and thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Fabre. I think this is the right thing to do. So I'm completely supporters.
Thank you. Kim, you wanted to speak?
I definitely forgot a huge thing to say. I've been fortunate in my life to have two mothers, and tomorrow is Dia de la Madre in Mexico, so I just want to say happy Mother's Day to my mom, and also Sunday is Mother's Day here in America, so happy Mother's Day to my stepmother. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh,
Mr.
John.
Mayor, I just wanted to make a comment regarding the proposed resolution. It's disheartening that we even have to discuss this in the United States of America about our state government possibly, allowing the communist regimes into our state government or federal government. In the First Amendment of our Constitution, Congress shall make no law, and you could put that into state law, local government. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, of abridging the freedom of speech or the press or the right for people to peacefully assemble, a government to redress of grievances. It's just disheartening to me that we even have to consider these things this far that we've come in 200 years and all the things that we've had to suffer and go through, and that we're even talking about this. But I would fully support that resolution. So, thank you.
In order to, if the city council wishes to take action on this item at the next meeting, in order to comply with your policies and procedures, it would be appropriate for a motion to be made for this item to be agendized as an action item.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to agendize this as an action item at the next council meeting.
I would second it.
A double second.
Call the vote? Can you do a vote, or we got to do a roll call vote?
Under matters.
Wow, look at you.
Wow. Quick. Thank you, Terry.
Sure.
We're getting this.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from colleagues? Okay, I won't add anything, so I'll just pass over to City Manager if you have any comments you'd like to make.
Mr. Mayor and the members of council, just a few things. One is, I believe everybody has on the dais there a copy of the PD's annual report that I think the chief wanted to leave for all of you. It outlines all the good work that they've been doing in the past year, and we will be sure to get that up on our website for the community to also be able to take a look at and view that. I do want to reiterate something that was made earlier, that the renaming of the Veterans Facility in Long Beach will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. I think the VA facility is at 5901 East 7th Street in Long Beach. renaming the facility the Tibor Rubin Veterans Administration Hospital, I believe, or medical facility. And I know we have some of the members of council that will be there representing the city, and so I know that will be greatly appreciated by the Tibor Rubin family. I do want to mention to all of you, I know you saw it, but for members of the public, in last week's manager's memo that we sent out, we gave you a little bit of updated information on Senate Bill 1, which was the recently signed, for lack of a better word, gas tax, otherwise called the Road Repair and Accountability Act of 2017. We've gotten some preliminary numbers that show that for fiscal year 17-18, our Public Works Department is looking to receive about $1.225 million, and then when we get into the full year for 18-19, that amount will increase to $3.248 million. And we'll be talking, obviously, Bill Murray and his staff will be able to use these resources to help with some of our streets and slurry sealing and repaving, so it will definitely help us with that. And we'll be, I'm sure as part of Mr. Murray's reports to you, we'll be sharing information with that and how we're best able to utilize those resources. And then finally, I want to mention that this Friday is the Association of California Cities, Orange County, ACCOC, is holding their 6th annual Golden Hub of Innovation Awards, and I'm pleased to say that 2 of our departments will be receiving awards at that ceremony. On Friday, it's a luncheon. Our Garden Grove Police Department will be receiving an award for their innovative work in creating our Special Resources Unit to work with the homeless. And secondly, our Community and Economic Development staff will be receiving an award for their public-private partnerships in conjunction with the Great Wolf Lodge. So it's a nice honor for our city staff with the city to be recognized by ACCOC. So I just wanted to mention that. That's all I had, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. And on that note, we are adjourned. Thank you.
We do have a closed session.
Okay, yeah, we'll adjourn to closed session, and then we'll come back to, yep.